मुझे ऐसा लगता है हर जगह सिर्फ एक ही कमेंट दिखता है, प्लीज रिव्यू ब्रुनेल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लंडन. So here we are because you asked for it. Hi everyone, my name is Prabhat and I am the head coach and founder at AdmitX. And today we are back for another episode of University Focus where I review one university at a time. And today we are diving into one of the UK's most innovative and career focused universities, which is of course Brunel University of London. अगर आप इस चैनल के एक रेगुलर व्यूअर हो तो obviously you know what's coming up next. We are going to cover the top programs, the eligibility criteria, scholarships, accommodation, campus life, and so much more. Basically everything which you should know to decide whether Brunel is a good option for you or not. So let's jump into it. Brunel was established in 1966 and is in fact one of the UK's most dynamic and career-focused universities. It is extremely well known for blending academic excellence with career outcomes. It places a very strong emphasis on employability, and that's why most of its programs offer placement opportunities and even a placement year as part of the program. Brunel is located in the western part of London, slightly on the outskirts. So location wise, you get the best of both. You get the access to London, which is the biggest market for jobs and opportunities, but still you are slightly outside, so you benefit from lower cost of living. Brunel offers a vibrant and modern campus with world-class facilities and an extremely diverse student community. It is extremely well known for its programs in design, engineering, business, and computer science, all of which are designed to prepare students to take on the real world. So when it comes to rankings, we can say that Brunel is more of a tier 2 university, especially with QS ranking of 385 and Times Higher Education ranking between 400 to 500. So even though it does not rank amongst the top universities in the UK, I think it more than makes up for it with its focus on employability, career outcomes, and its connects with employers in the UK. But ultimately, the course you choose and what you study actually inside that course is what matters the most. So let's look at the most popular courses offered by Brunel, especially with its diverse offerings across different fields. So within engineering, students mostly go for aerospace, mechanical and civil engineering. Within business management, the MBA and several MSc programs are most popular. For computer science, students especially like to focus on AI and cybersecurity. And for health sciences, nursing and biomedical sciences are especially in demand. Then there are also other programs in arts and design, psychology, law, and media and communications. But after looking at the most popular courses, of course the next natural thing to come into your mind should be the tuition fees. Because obviously you must be wondering how much does it actually cost to study at Brunel. While the tuition fees can vary between different programs, an average range for bachelor programs can be between £17,000 to £25,000 per year. But for postgraduate programs, it is slightly more expensive and can range anywhere between £21,000 to £36,000 per year. See, if you want my honest opinion, I think that the fees that Brunel is charging is slightly higher than the average for similar ranked universities. But you should also note that Brunel ने in fact अपने tuition fees को reduce किया है by up to 20% from the previous years. And on top of this, they even award a lot of generous scholarships as part of the Vice Chancellor Excellence Scholarship. So let's explore what exactly does this Vice Chancellor's Excellence Award cover and how much can it fund your tuition fees. Bachelor students can cover up to 25% of their tuition fees, not just for the first year, but for the entire duration of their bachelor's degree. But there are majorly three conditions. The first is that you need to have very high scores in your high school, typically more than ABB in A-levels, or an international equivalent. The second condition is that you need to pay a deposit of £5,000 to secure your seat. Now under the Vice Chancellor's Excellence Award, postgraduate students can get up to £6,000 of their tuition fees. And again the conditions are very similar. First is that obviously you need to pay your deposit of £5,000 to secure your seat, and you need to fulfill all of your offer conditions. But there is a major difference in the entry requirements. So you must achieve 2-1 as per UK grade, or approximately 65% in your bachelor's degree. If you want me to make a dedicated video on the Vice Chancellor's Excellence Award and how to apply for it, how you can actually maximize your chances, then comment Vice Chancellor below and I will make sure that the next video is on that. So in addition to the Vice Chancellor's Excellence Award, there are two more scholarships, especially for bachelor students. The first one is offered by the College of Engineering, Design and Physical Sciences, and you can get a maximum of £2,000 every single year as an allowance. And the second one is the Brunel Sanctuary Scholarship, which offers a full tuition fee waiver, but for students who are asylum seekers or refugees from a war-torn country. So talking about the entry requirements, they are pretty straightforward. and bachelor students will generally need around 75% in their class 12th board exams or an international equivalent. But of course, this requirement can vary from course to course, and you might need higher grades in specific subjects. But talking about postgraduate courses, you will generally need between 60 to 65% in your bachelor's degree. Again, this requirement can be slightly higher or even lower depending on the exact course you choose. But if you want to pursue an MBA from Brunel, you will also need 3 years of full-time work experience because Brunel does not accept freshers for its MBA program. If you do not have enough work experience, then maybe the MSc management could be a better option. In addition to the standard academic entry requirements, you will also need to meet the English language requirements. But the good news is that Brunel accepts a wide range of English exams to fulfill this requirement. For IELTS, you must get an overall score of 6 with no band less than 5.5. But if you're taking TOEFL, you must achieve a total overall score of 79. And if you're going for PT, then you must have an overall score of 59 with no bands less than 59 again. And the best news is that Brunel even offers English language test waivers, especially for Indian students who have previously studied from a specific board. So Brunel is one of the only universities in the UK which also accepts state boards in addition to CBSE and ICSE. There are 2 state boards accepted, which are Maharashtra and West Bengal. And you must have scored at least 70% in your English in grade 12 to be eligible for a waiver. Now let's talk about the actual living expenses as a student at Brunel. Since Brunel is still located in London, actual living expenses are slightly higher than average, and typically you will need to budget between 1600 to 2000 pounds per month. Since accommodation is by far the biggest expense, I think we should cover that first. So there are 2 options. You can live on campus or off campus. If you live on campus, your typical rent can be between 700 to 1100 pounds depending on the kind of room you choose, and off campus can be slightly cheaper, typically between 500 pounds to 950 pounds per month. But one thing to keep in mind, especially if you live off campus, is that you should also budget an additional 100 pounds to cover for utility bills such as electricity, water, heating and Wi-Fi. Now I know that living in London can be slightly on the higher side, but it is definitely manageable if you can combine it with part-time opportunities as well as smart budgeting. So once you have sorted out your accommodation and living arrangements, I think you should also know what it's actually like to be a student at Brunel and the kind of student life it offers. Because of course studying abroad is much more than just academics. Campus life at Brunel is vibrant, diverse and full of energy. The campus is in fact spread across the beautiful city of London, a lively student-friendly city which is especially well known for its art, culture and music. Students can enjoy a perfect mix of academic focus and social life, especially with a lot of cafes, festivals and green spaces all around. Brunel Student Union is one of the most active in the UK and is home to countless clubs, societies and events which help students explore their interest to the full potential. Whether it's studying in the iconic Wills Memorial Building, chilling by the harbour side or joining student societies, campus life here is all about community, creativity and balance. But Brunel doesn't just focus on a great campus experience, it actually prepares students for what's coming up ahead with excellent support for their career and placement opportunities. With a strong employment rate of almost 93% and industry partnerships with companies like Jaguar Land Rover, Microsoft and IBM, students can be absolutely sure that they will get ample opportunities once they graduate. And with the UK graduate visa, they can even stay in the UK and work for up to 18 months after they graduate. But my recommendation to all students who want to get an advantage and maximize their chances of getting a good job should be to utilize university resources as early as up to 9 months before you graduate. And if your course includes a sandwich year or a placement year, then you have an extra benefit because you can actually utilize that time to gain real local experience and build up your resume so that you can find a better paying job once you graduate. So that brings us almost to the end of this video, but of course the regular viewers know how we wrap up a university focused video, that is with a quick list of pros and cons. So let's start with the pros, and there are 4 big points because of which I think you should study at Brunel. The first one is the strong emphasis on employability, because most courses include a placement or internship year which helps students gain real world experience. The second point is that Brunel offers excellent facilities with a modern campus, advanced laboratories, libraries, sports and student accommodation, which are all located in one place. The third point is the industry connection with global employers especially in the fields of engineering, design, business, and technology. And the fourth point, which I think you should seriously consider, is its location and proximity to London. So, being located in Uxbridge, Brunel offers easy access to the city's opportunities while maintaining a quieter campus-based student life. But of course, we cannot just talk about the good parts about a university. We must also talk about the cons of Brunel. So the first one that comes to mind is the moderate global ranking. Because while Brunel excels in employability, it is still very much a mid-tier university compared to the other top options that you have in the UK. The second is a relatively higher living cost because you're still living close to London and your expenses such as rent and travel can be higher than average. And finally, which I think is not such a big of a con, is that some students report inefficiency by the admin department, but honestly that is not such a big pointer and you should not really consider it as a big con. So that brings us to the end of today's episode of University Focus. I hope that you learned something and you liked our video. So if you did, then make sure that you subscribe to our channel and don't miss any of the future episodes coming up. And of course, if you have a specific university in mind that you want me to cover, then comment the name below and I will make sure the next video is on that university only. And I will see you next time.